Hello, I've got news. I have got a new car. Yeah, I know I didn't need one, but I've got one anyway. I wasn't expecting this to happen. This has come as a complete surprise to me. What's more is I was kind of not even given any choice about whether I was having this car or not. Thrust upon me. But it is a car that I can get in and use as soon as I insure it. So, you know it's not that one. And it's not this, because that's already mine. Now, obviously, I don't actually need another car, do I? Because I have this, and this, and this. Let's not forget that in the lockup I have an MGF as well. Mrs. Doyle here is obviously my kind of car, and Nigel is my kind of car because it's nobody else's kind of car. But there is another car, a Rover. A Rover that ideally I would like to have as my own. I'd like it even more than Mrs. Doyle, and I'm stood right in front of it. That. The Rover 600, the 620, and not any Rover 600, but this particular car. This car is no stranger to me or this channel. In fact, it already has a playlist. Harry Donald Seacombe, CBE, or Harry Seacombe for short, or Harry if you like, or even H for anyone who's not a veteran to this channel. A quick update. Ready? And I first come across this car a couple of years ago in Shaw, where it had been left in the car park of a garage for about 2 years, where it had run out of fuel or the fuel pump had stopped working or something similar to that. And the chap who owned it before just gave up on it. Eventually, of course, the garage owner said, look, we need to move this car a little pronto because it's taking up our space. And I ended up getting involved and buying it. In the days where I had myself a vehicle that could pick up cars that couldn't pick themselves up and move them to a different destination, I went along and picked this up. And whilst tugging it onto the back of the flatbed, I discovered something. The cat had been stolen. The garage owners were very apologetic about this, but of course it wasn't their fault, and I'd already paid for the car. Anyway, it languished in the yard for quite a while, as cars do tend to do, until eventually a chap called Daniel from Bury turned up and bought it and took it away. And what he did is he fixed it, he put a new fuel pump in it. He also had this rear quarter re-welded in where it had gone a bit awfully rusty at the bottom, fitted a bonnet which was white, put a brand new radiator in, did all of the belts and the bonnet release cable. Look, bonnet white underneath. After he'd done all this lot, he decided he didn't really want it and sold it to me. And when I say me, I mean the collective. That's me, Boaty, and the secret banker. All of the time this car was in the yard beforehand, I always had a bit of a secret soft spot for it. And so when it came back, that soft spot developed into a head injury. I took it on as my own company car for a little while, maybe about a month come to think of it, and in that time I resprayed the bonnet with rattle cans. It's peeling away a bit in places now, but it wasn't a bad job considering. I also resprayed this corner, which has subsequently been resprayed again due to something that went wrong with the lacquer. So that's not my paint on there. I drove it, I enjoyed it, and I feared every journey because the fuel gauge was always reading something completely irrelevant. On a couple of occasions, in fact, I almost ran out of fuel when I had just under half a tank left. Anyway, then what happened rather typically was it languished around in the yard when the MOT ran out. Because I bought it back with about 3 months MOT, nobody wanted to buy it like straight away, so it kind of sat around. Until a chap called Neil decided he wanted to buy it. So I took it for its MOT. And guess what? It just passed. There's nothing wrong with the car. Yeah, no, I think it just went straight through. And then as a company, we sold this car for the princely sum of just a bit more than what we paid for it. And Neil took it away on his way to somewhere that isn't Birmingham. Anyway, it was far from a perfect car, but it was okay. But Neil took it upon himself to make this car quite a bit better. So long as you can just ignore that bit there, then what he did do is he got a brand new electric aerial fitted. Snazzy and not cheap. A new badge, new plates, new tailpipe, and a set of TI wheels with brand new tyres on. I mean, that's the best bit, isn't it? Really sets the car up. No, sets it. Makes it look more sporty. I think that's a new badge as well. On the inside, this won't be to everybody's taste, but this wooden steering wheel here. A new old stock gear knob. And something else, I can't quite think of what it is though at the moment. I think there may have been some suspension components sorted out, but one thing that was really important that did get fixed was the fuel tank, because it was starting to leak. It was starting to expand too much on the inside and it split it. So, new fuel tank. There we have the old steering wheel, which I might refit. Then again, I might not. I wasn't expecting to like that steering wheel, but it does have a really good feel to it as you grab hold of the wheel and tell the car which direction to go in. The only thing is, I've not actually been out of the yard in this car. I mean, I have, but I've never been out of the yard in this car as my car. And this is now my car. Anyway, the exciting stuff doesn't even stop there. Because in the boot here is a bunch of things I'm going to find some space in the lockup for. Well, it's new discs, new filter, new bits of things in, like new pads, new fuel sender. There's quite a few other bits in there. I haven't gone through it all. But the best bit is actually these. A set of new old stock headlamps. That's right, brand new headlamps from about 30 years ago. How cool is that? As it goes, it doesn't really need them. I mean, this one is a bit dull on the inside, but not that much. It's still a lot more acceptable than what happens with plastic headlamps nowadays. At one point, this car was kind of used just to store carpets and stuff like that in the back because it wasn't damp. It was dry, and it's still dry, but it's about to get clean as well, because to make a car your own, you have to clean it. You also have to do a variety of small jobs that make you feel happier with it, and I am happy to do all of that. Now, the best opportunity for me to do some sort of deep clean on this car would be now, because I can't drive for a few days. Now that sounds rather ominous, doesn't it? But I can't. I have something stopping me, and that is my insurance policy has elapsed, and I don't want to renew it for a couple of days because I'm relying on my YouTube income to pay for it, and it's always late. So 3 days without driving, started again on the 27th. Hello! I'm not sure if you wanted to keep this thing, Neil. Looks like an Indian head massage thingy. There, that's the floor mats all lovely and clean now. They just need some oil-based shiny stuff. They can stay there until they're needed, because I prefer to work on making the carpets as nice as possible. But for the moment, this is going to have to do, which has been vacuuming and then traffic film remover and stuff all over the seats and the carpet. It is better. Well, that's kind of the end of this video, because it's time to walk home and leave this car here. Shame really. I would like to be driving it home tonight, but I can't. And anyway, even if I could, really, would I actually tax it for 5 days use? Probably not. No, 6 days use, come to think of it. No, I can be patient and just simply wait until the beginning of the month. Now, I'm going to use it as my secondary car there. Nigel is going to have a rest, a well-earned rest, because he's been out a couple of times this month. I mean, really, honestly, Nigel's not had a great deal of use, which is a shame. And that's partly because the Audi is actually just such an easy car to live with. I don't know what it is about the 600. I don't know why I like it so much. Why do I like this car more than all of the other Rovers, including the good old R8? And having the R8 as a tourer as well is quite a treat, isn't it? But somehow, I love the understated looks. It's so elegant. The Honda over-engineering. It's so 90s. It's the pinnacle. It's absolute 90s. And it doesn't show off at all. And even better, with this being just the SI model and not something like the TI or the GSI, it's completely free from any pretentiousness. What? Although, given the chance, and I think I am being given the chance, the TI seats and the door cards with the wooden bits on are definitely something I would go for. But the early model without the airbag just plonked on the top of there just looks so much better. I prefer that T-shelf and this wood strip to an airbag any day. And the same goes for the steering wheel. Well, there's not the standard steering wheel. The standard steering wheel doesn't have an airbag either. And it also doesn't have ABS. It's just got 2 electric windows. Even the mirrors are manual. I like that. I like the fact that I originally saved it. Somebody else saved it further. Somebody else made it better. And it still needs some stuff on it to make it perfect. But I'm not going to bother with perfection for 2 reasons. It's pointless. And the other is, well, I don't really want to do. Oh, what am I doing now? I'm going the wrong way. So the engine's absolutely sweet at 161,000 miles. Somehow, there just isn't a car better suited to me. Insured and ready to go.
Hello, my name's Neil. I am making this video on my own. I can't make that word out. It's say same body and mind, because I've traded that car for an ECU for an L series. I'm doing this on my own free will. Yeah, it does say free will, yes, and I'm definitely not upset about it in the slightest. And Mustard did not is underlined. I don't know if I can say underlined, or am I doing this right, sir?
Yes.
Bit more sincerity?
Oh, yeah, a bit more
I'm trying to hold back the tears, because Mustard is king and he must have a 600. LOL. There you go.